I wouldn't fuss about all the things because I knew there was just a bunch of more projects just like right after the other one, which made it to where
that you weren't having
exactly
to sell.
that I didn't have to be over here selling the next one over here because I could just deal with it. But even then, it still felt like I was getting hustled, kind of thing. So
right. That's why they were sticking with you without ever having to like you worrying about them ever leaving because they're like, dude, this guy's doing a lot. Welcome to UX Weekly, featuring Ray the Savage and Stephen Ray. Well, your shirt says Savage on it. It's pretty badass though.
Splam.
I like it's Savage and then it's like a panther.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's kind of unexpected almost. Maybe it's not. But well, it's a panther, but it's also like heavy metal. What I expected before I saw the panther was like some dude slaying a guitar down there, some monster, like the old school like heavy metal covers.
Yeah, I see where your head's going. I don't know. I just saw a panther and it was pink, and so I bought it. So that's enough for me.
Well, listeners are going to be visualizing like the Pink Panther.
Well, I love the Pink Panther. Man, I need to get my kids watching Pink Panther. That was a good show. He was a devious motherfucker.
We'll see if it holds up. Yeah. I don't remember it that well, to be honest.
It's more about the music, I think. It was just like, I think it's, I don't know. You're right. Mm-hmm. There were so many cartoons that like I remember like so deeply that no one has a clue about like whatever I'm talking about. Like, do you remember the HannaBarbera Olympics?
I don't remember the Olympics.
No. It was like this whole thing where it's like all of the different Hanna-Barbera cartoons are all a team, like in the Olympics, and they're all competing, trying to get in like.
That sounds. I can sort of imagine that, so I'm imagining that I saw.
And they would all like
when they had all the crossover cartoons.
A bunch of them would like cheat, like they would like set up a trap for another one, and the Flintstones would come running in. They would fall over and like fall out of their car and shit, like.
Which was always the weirdest thing, because like the cartoons. Like don't match. Like they don't like the characters don't look like they should go with the other characters. Which is always weird, I thought.
It was funny. I literally
it's like when they would have the Harlem Globetrotters on Scooby-Doo
that was
all
always
the time.
Weird. That was so weird to me. I mean, but when you think back now that we do like marketing and shit like that, you're like, man, it was product placement. It was like brand placement. Very well done. It's like now as a kid who doesn't know who the Harlem Globetrotters, now we do. And then we get older and we want to tell our parents to go buy tickets to go see them when they come to town. It was probably brilliant marketing.
Yeah, but Harlem Globetrotters were famous back then. But it was just like sort of doubling down. It's like, I already thought they were cool. Now they're on the fucking Scooby-Doo show.
Oh, I didn't think they were cool. I didn't know who they were. I guess you're just so in touch.
I guess I was more into basketball than you.
I guess so. But I just saw this thing. I was on Twitter before we got on here. And it was like, it was talking about like Marvel movies and like how like all the multiverses are coming together. And it was just talking about like this movie was like the best like multiverse piece coming together. Talking about like Spider-Man. And then it showed a clip of like when the Jetsons and the Flintstones like came together for like a combo like movie.
That's what I was just thinking.
Like so.
In my head, when I was talking about the different cartoons coming together, it was the Jetsons and the Flintstones.
I love the Jetsons.
Craziness.
I don't really like the Flintstones.
Dude, actually, so say it again.
I love the Jetsons. I did
really
not
like the Flintstones. Yeah, I liked both of them. I like the future. Obviously. I think that's what it's kind of normal to like about the Jetsons. Futuristic. But then I like the simplicity of old Fred Flintstone. I just remember always thinking about like the vehicles, how they would like just push with their feet everywhere.
They're the strongest calves like ever.
Yeah.
But it's funny, like
their feet are all just like calloused.
Someone's probably already done this, but it'd be really interesting. Like what do you call it? Like like a blog or like a documentary like breakdown. You know how they'll do like here's all the Easter eggs of like a show you just watched. That version of it, basically breaking down like what like a misogynist pig dickhead like Fred Flintstone is, and how you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying like as an example, and how like you know this character.
Well, that's why they
like
can't even play
shit, you know,
Tom and Jerry anymore.
Oh yeah, no,
you can't even. Yeah,
because Tom was
it's
a
like
man whore,
super racist,
and that you know.
Well, yeah, probably a lot of things, right? But yeah, which is really funny because that's like a staple in the history of my mind of cartoons was Tom and Jerry. To think that, I mean, I don't know if there's like new ones they play, but from what I understand, all those classic ones, they cannot air those on TV
they've
anymore.
all become like sexual memes now, basically.
Well, that's funny you keep saying that. Like, to me, like it's all racist. I mean, there's some stuff that I've seen going back, like after I recognized it as an adult, and like they, you know, it's not like I remembered it, but they would show it and say, look at this racist reference. And I would go, holy shit. Yeah. It could be more blatantly racist.
Yeah, I mean, and
but
that's
anyway,
what we grew up on, you know. Yay.
Yeah. Well, hey, so you're the TV show guy. This is not a good segue, but it's kind of a segue because we're still talking about TV, which also happens to be your favorite topic to discuss.
Yeah, I'm good at it.
So
it's not that it's my favorite topic; it's that my brain.
It's just that you're an expert.
My brain works in movie quotes and TV show quotes. So it's like when you say something, or even you say like it in a certain way, my brain remembers a random scene from a movie, and so it's I'm fucked up. I know. Go ahead, but continue.
Well, so I had started to watch this show called I think it's Mindhunter.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it's called. Now that I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about? It's like
serial
the serial killer.
Yep.
Yeah. And my wife, you know, she wouldn't get into it. For some reason, I really got into it. I was digging it. So I'd basically just like watch it. You know, I you know, have my iPad set up. So if I'm like cooking or washing the dishes or something, or just sometimes I'll just stand there. But it's not like anybody else wants to watch it with me on the TV. So it's like I'll watch it when I can. Anyway, got really into it. And, man, one of the things that I've realized that just all these TV shows are doing, and I have great vision. Like I'm doing well in the eyeball category. Dude, they record these things so dark. Like, I can't see shit. Why are you cracking up?
You just had this like this humble moment. I'd be like, well, hold on. Before I tell you what I'm about to tell you, I have fucking fantastic vision. I am the greatest.
I think it matters.
You know? So
I just need you to understand.
It was just the way you said it. Anyway, sorry.
Now,
yes.
I am practically deaf, but I can see shit. So, no, man, they record these things so dark. I don't know if you remember all the jokes about the last episode, I think it was, of the Game of Thrones, and everybody was like just talking about how dark it was. Like, that's like a trend, because I was trying to watch some of these episodes, and I'm like, okay, my computer screen, my iPad is like turned all the way up, and it's not bright in here, and I'm like, man, I can't see shit.
Okay, so you just brought up exactly what you made me think of, and this is, you know, it's like how you're always concerned that we don't really like talk about products and design and stuff like that. This is a design issue to me. Okay, the same way that you just said. You didn't
have to bring that up.
No, but the same way that you said, like on your iPad, you'll like bump up the brightness. Why in fucking 2022? Is there no fucking brightness, contrast, like all the type? Like there is, like if I go through the settings, I want it like on my fucking remote, like right here, just bump up the brightness. Or like, why is it so fucking bright? Bump it down. You know, add a little like.
Well,
it should be that fucking simple.
To even make your case even more, like they have recognized that you need to do that on the phone and the computer and all this shit. They've got apps for it that make it go down at a certain time of day. You're totally right. Yeah, in order to get to it on a freaking phone or TV, it's like you have to learn how to like use the
but it's
the menu.
The problem with it too, though, is like it's almost like it's almost like a combination of pieces, right? It's like you're doing fucking color manipulation in Photoshop or something like that, right? Because if you just go all brightness, you just add a bunch of fucking white and you just washed out the whole thing, and now everything looks like shit, right? So it's like now it's like I need this much brightness and this much contrast, but it's like it's just not a friendly user experience in the TV. Why? Like that, I mean, not to say that we're not on our phones all the time, but me, I'm on my fucking TV all the time. Like, I watch TV a lot.
Well,
you know?
Right. Well, and so I think I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, but like, I'll go into like a dark room or whatever if I can't sleep, and like on the iPad, what's great is you can turn it down so far that like at least my goal was like not to wake myself back up with all the bright blue light coming from the screen. And so yeah, being able to just like tap on it and turn it all the way down and watch it, that was great. Like if I was able to do that with the actual TV that was in the room, I would have done that, but it's like not possible.
I just wish,
or at least not easily. And if you do it, like then you have to go change it back.
So here's my random dream that if I was designing a TV that I think would be awesome, right? And this would be because it's not just the TV interface. I wish that the director and like all the people who make a TV show and a movie actually were like, here are the optimal TV settings to watch this show in, and the TV would then recognize this is what it needs to be for
it did
that
it automatically.
show, and it changes based on what show is on.
It's like a code that comes with
exactly, right?
It's like a programming code that
exactly.
Comes with that's badass.
That would be sick, right? To where it's like I'm not constantly having to change my TV. It's just automatically, blam, it's made specifically for this. Versus because some TVs will have like, here's cinema mode, here's whatever mode, here's whatever, and it's just
true.
Which is like more yellow, more white, more whatever.
The biggest problem is going to be that I don't think there's any like standards and like
this is one of those things
displays
though, that there are crazy obsessed people out there in the world that
like
literally
files.
crowdsource this whole thing, right? And be like, nope, I've already analyzed everything, this is the best optimal thing for your Sony television, here, this is what it is.
Oh, right.
So it's like
I'm the Sony
like the
guy.
production company wouldn't even have to fucking do anything. It's more like the TV company has to just ingest this input and change the settings, So, I don't know. That's my dream. Sony, like LG, if you are listening, Samsung, anybody, fucking Vizio, I don't give a fuck. Hit me up. Let's do this thing.
Dude, one of the best TVs that I ever had was a TCL. Or
TLC, TCL, one of those,
TLC, something like that. Chinese company. I don't even know what those letters stand for. I don't think they stand for anything.
No.
Should make it up though.
Television.
TV, color.
Television company. Legit.
Oh, wait. It stands for television company logo.
There you go.
And they just like left it there.
insert logo for? Here. That's
exactly. It's a placeholder. Like, well, fuck. We just stamped it on everything. Guess that's the name of our company now.
That would be awesome. I want to work for a TV company.
Okay.
I like hardware-y stuff. It's but you're probably right. Like I have all these random ideas of things that would be really cool that I think would do.
Well, no, you want to go and like fiddle.
I do.
You want to go and be like,
I want to work in a lab.
Partially.
I want to work in an R&D lab that just plays with shit that never actually gets produced because the accountants go, that's going to cost way too much money to put into a TV, and now your TV can't be $300. It's going to be like $800,000.
Well, which is how innovation is basically created, right? That's like the concepts of everything, which is an interesting topic.
Well, so this is the thing though. It's like I feel like Dyson, all these like giant companies that do this.
How cool.
That's what I'm saying though. Like they'll do something for like 10 years. So cool. And like they're literally like funded this random crazy idea, or Google with their moonshots and stuff like that. And they're like, hey, none of these ideas are going to work, but y'all just go ahead and fucking play with some cool shit. Here's a bunch of money, Like that is like holy fucking shit. Like that is the dream. I feel like I made it. If I go into, and like if literally I could go to work and just like someone's going to ask me every day, what are we dreaming up today? like how fucking amazing would that feeling be, you know?
Okay, let me make sure we're clear, because I think I got you. I think I got you. You want to be able to do the first 90% and let that be the end of it.
100 fucking
Hell yeah.
percent. 100 fucking percent. I am 0 to 1, like that book. Like I am 0 to 1 all fucking day long, and like from 1 to build the empire, that's somebody else's fucking gig. That's not my gig.
I guess just to be sure that I know you and I both know what we're talking about there, but just to be clear, like, so building a product, for example, there's the idea of building it. There's basically, you can do the prototype. You can, like, I guess 90% might even be a little bit too far, but basically the 90% is like getting an actual functional thing out there, but it still needs to be, there's still a lot of revisions. There's bugs, there's things, there's like iterations, but the core concept of the thing doing what it does and it actually functioning is kind of like the exciting part. Then when you have to go and like continue to iterate and perfect it, that last 10% is about as difficult as the first 90%.
So one addition I'd add to that, for me personally, is it's not the iterations, it's not all that. It's the fucking production of all the fucking shit that I don't care about. Like now we got to make an about page and notifications and this and
I wasn't even going to mention that, but like even writing copy
it's
and all
that shit that I don't want fucking anything to do with. Like I'm just like, oh no, I did my part. Here you go. Now you guys take that. And I'm going to go work on the next new thing. All right? I'll let y'all guys know when I'm done with that.
Right.
Like, that would be fucking... Like, I feel like my brain is made for that.
You're right. That part is very important. That part is very important because it's a requirement for launching a product. And it's the part that, like, unless that's what you like to do or something, most people don't, and it sucks. But then when you have to do that, and you all just have to continue to try to iterate on copy for the website or whatever, like, until it's perfect or until the CEO signs off or whatever it may be. Yeah, all that shit sucks.
Speaking of that, and I know I do this, and I'm sorry of like I'm going some other direction, but when you talked about copy. No, I want to come. I'm digging where we're at right now, but you talked about copy, and that's always an issue when you're designing things. So like everyone knows, like we always put Ipsum and shit in there. Do you have a go-to Ipsum?
Yeah, I don't do that.
You don't. You write words.
Ipsum. Yeah.
Okay, that's stupid.
I know we've talked about this, but I think it's worthy of discussing again. So what I do, I write the intent of what I think is supposed to be going on there, but I write it from my own sort of, like, I know that I'm like not the expert and I shouldn't be writing the copy, but I'll go ahead and write what I think it would say. And then that way, whenever we review it, people understand what the intent of that design is. And, then they go like, this sucks. You're like, I know. It's because I need you to write it.
So my issue with that, purely just because it's happened so many times to me,
is that you don't like to
do
it.
No, not at all. I actually feel like I'm a pretty good writer. This is the first time I've heard you say that. It opens up a whole other conversation that I don't even want to fucking have right now. I'm trying to work on the design.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get this part done, and you're focused in on the thing that I don't fucking give a shit about right now, that we can worry about that afterwards, or somebody could do that on the side at the same time. I am trying to lock down this interface, this website, this app, this whatever.
Well, what you're misunderstanding is that I ever iterate on copy ever again, or that we even have the discussion then. Like if that comment comes up, which it can, and it does, or whatever, you go, great. That's for you guys. Like that's what we needed from you. Because also, I almost always require like that kind of copy before the point in which I'm delivering presenting something and I haven't gotten it. So that's when I remind them, yep, you guys are right. That copy is not great. So, however, just to, and I've always been able to carry on, but it gets me what I need in order to have a good conversation.
But coming back to where we just were. And we're in this design lab, and we're creating ideas from our head from nothing.
Yeah.
And we're in the first phase of like coming up with the crazy idea, and we're designing things. The copy does not matter right now. Does this product solve this random thing and the problem that we're trying to solve? Does this thing look cool? Does this look right?
Would lorem ipsum even be relevant at this point?
No, it's a placeholder that of a section that we know we're gonna need to stick some shit in here. But I don't use lorem ipsum. But that was my. But you get, well, I don't know. It's happened to me so many times where exactly what you just said. A client will be like, "Oh yeah, and then I'll do this," and it's like now they can't let it go. You try to steer them. Okay, that's great.
Yeah,
we'll do this, and we can't try to steer them back over here. And then they're just like, no. Well, now that I think about it, maybe we could say this. And you're like, okay, cool. We got that. Let's get back over here so we can lock it. Yeah, like yeah. That's fine.
I think this is the instance where I'm good at being a, as you would say, I think being a dick, because I will definitely like stop that shit. And I don't care who it is. Like, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like that's not a problem. I just need to, like, if we remind it, I feel like you only have to do it twice and use a little bit of like, hey guys, again, we're going to focus on the concepts, the language we are waiting on you from, but we're not going to actually utilize this call to go to figure out what that language is or whatever, something like that, where it's a little bit of sternness, even though they're the big client, because they need to recognize that we're not going to waste time on that and that they already owed that shit to you.
See, I think this is just where...
And we're going to fucking move on.
No, I think that is a definite superpower of yours. And that's where it's like, I think too, I would definitely become extra sensitive, you know, because it's like everyone's like, no, I take feedback. I can do this. I can do whatever. Yeah, we can. But it doesn't mean that you just put fucking love into this thing and somebody shitting on it doesn't hurt a little bit. It does, right? Sure. And like when those things happen, it's almost like, why are you not looking at my baby? You just keep talking about the fucking shoes he's wearing. You know, like, look at my fucking baby, you know? And like, I'm starting to get angry and mad. You know, I'm like, why the fuck? You know, which way? It's like, it's why I can't do client services and stuff anymore. It's just, I don't think I have the patience for it anymore. Maybe watch. I'm gonna eat my words because watch. I'm gonna get stuck in a fucking client services fucking company, or like start one.
You're gonna end up starting a client services company.
No,
that's what's gonna happen.
It's one of those things.
That's where you do it. That's where you do it the way you want to do it. That's the way it always starts.
But this is okay. I think we talked about this before. But the thing that I would do different is exactly what you just said. I'd be a fucking dick. I would just be fucking mean. Because it's like was too nice the first go around, and I fucking just gave away work. I just let like people happy, you know, and I would just do all this shit, and then they would still bitch that like I didn't charge them for all the shit I did, and it was still too expensive, you know. I'd just be like, cool, well, you signed the contract, suck a dick, get the fuck out of here, pay the bill, you know.
Okay, and which is what I gather when you say I would be a dick, but before you said suck a dick. That actually wouldn't have been a bad way to respond. Maybe a little more, like, you just, like, make shit like it's matter of fact. It's just a matter of fact. This, like, you know, yep, hey, cool, totally understand. You know, it depends on how much money they're giving you, how much lenience you have, or whatever. But, like, it is really important to recognize that you don't give anybody freebies. Or if you do, put it in the contract that is like, hey, this is much of a discount or whatever. Never just let somebody think like you're doing something that would normally cost you $5,000, or whatever it may be. I'm just making up numbers, but like, never let them think that like you would just charge them $1,000. No, it's that you're charging them $6,000. And you're giving them a $5,000 discount because of, and that's kind of an absurd discount. But anyway, you get my point. Like, write it into the invoice. They need to be able to see that.
It's more the other way, though.
Oh man, I'm getting this value.
It's more the other way, and I get it, right? Like, it's more like, okay, I told you it was going to be 10 grand, but I did 27 grand worth of work because of all the changes and all the things and all the stuff you ended up adding, right? And like, even though there's a statement of work. Okay,
at what point are you... I'm the client. What point are you telling me this?
What do you mean? I mean, that's probably... I get where you're going, and that's probably a big part of it too, but it's a lot of times it'd be like a fixed price deal, and even though the contract would say, any extra revisions are billed at this much, or any other content that's added is a whole other statement of work or whatever. The project just keeps going, right? And that's probably where I would definitely fuck up and did, is not like, okay, well, that sounds like extra work. That's going to be a different contract. Like, that's a whole other thing. Like, that's the part of me when I was saying, like, being a dick that I felt like was me being a dick. Like, I was like, they're my client. They're going to keep giving me more work. I'll just take care of it. I'll eat this shit.
They're, like, taking advantage of you and, like, yeah, I get that. That's definitely an important thing to either have somebody that's good at that. Like, I might be better at that than you, but I have those problems too. I've worked with other dudes that are just very good about, because I mean, the thing is, it's like people can come in and steamroll you and take advantage of you and make you feel like shit, and they know what they're doing and they know what they're going to get out of it. And I think it's until you've worked with enough consultants to just see that, like, they just dick their way into whatever they want to magically happen. Like, that's why they get such a bad rap. Even, obviously a lot of these guys are, like, really intelligent, really great people, but just so much of the industry is like a lot of, oh, hey, what's that estimate going to be? And even if it's a good estimate, now I realize what they're combating is, like, these long estimates that, because they're uneducated enough to be able to, understand how much that's going to cost. They would get engineers that'd be like, well, it's going to take like 4 weeks. When in reality, it's like maybe a week. But then the problem is, like, when they get somebody and it's like, yeah, it's going to take a week. And they're like, yeah, I think we can bang that out in 3 days. They're like, well, no. And then they're just like, force it to happen. They're like, well, we're going to have to work double time or whatever. It's kind of like when, like, your sales exec or whatever would oversell what you could do within a certain period of time, which was always the worst, because they're like, I need to get the sale. And you're like, great, that's really sustainable, bro. Let's work us all night and day, all week for some, yeah.
I'm with you.
But anyway, yeah, I kind of went off there.
No.
But I mean, the point, I guess, was like, a client steamrolling you into doing extra work. It's really an important skill either to learn, which you can do over time. Like I said, I got better at it. But if you can't, like, try to have that person, as your partner or something.
That's what I take away from what you said. Is like, I feel like I got better at it. It took a long time, and it burned me out, like, to a point like I didn't want to do it. And it would have been better if I had somebody who had those skills at the very beginning. Right. Which I know is always tough, right? Like, when you're starting out, you're just trying to, like, build a business. Like, you can't always, like, hire people, but that's the whole point of partners, is you're doing stuff together, so.
Well, another thing, when you're, like, just building a business, it's so much harder to say no.
Totally.
Like, because you're like, okay, we need projects. And when you don't have, like, a freaking queue out the door of people that want to give you money, you're like, okay, we'll do that. And then before you know it, you're in that position. Well, then if you build a long-term relationship with that client, they know they can do this to you. Like, it doesn't get better until you fire them, until the relationship ends. And then you have to keep that in mind, not to do that for the next client.
The other side to it, though, was like, I don't know. It's like, I hate sales probably more than I hate the thing we're talking about right now. And having, like, I'd always get, like, a big client that would just keep just fucking shoveling me work, just like, here's just a bunch of shit, right? So it's like, I wouldn't fuss about all the things, because I knew there was just a bunch of more projects just, like, right after the other one, which made it to where
that you weren't having
to sell.
that
I didn't have to be over here selling the next one over here, because I could just deal with it. But even then, it still felt like I was getting hustled, kind of thing. So
right. That's why they were sticking with you without ever having to, like, you worrying about them ever leaving, because they're like, dude, this guy's doing a lot.
So that's what I mean. I do a lot of things differently if I could do it all over again, but I don't think I would do it all over again. I think I would have stuck with product, meaning like some of the first projects I ever did were actual SaaS products that we didn't keep going. I wish I would have just kept going, or made another one that was like that, and just focused on making a product that someone's going to pay for versus doing services. That the other part of it, dude, like, I think we might have talked about this, is like, our shit just gets thrown in the trash after a minute, right? Like thinking about all that work that I did, all these sites that went live, all this stuff that was out there, all this marketing, it's all gone. Somebody else has done it. Like it's like been redone, redesigned. Some agency came in, whatever. It's all gone. So it's like all this fucking work and all this time that I put into it is just fucking gone. You know, like where it's like products, if I wanted to, could just keep going. Even if I only had 10 people paying me to do it, I could still keep it live forever, you know, because it's mine. So I don't know. That's my fucking rant.
You could do that even if you had nobody paying for it.
I could. And I have. I am right now, probably. I actually am right now, actually, now that I think about it. Dude, sweet. Worse than that, I make shit and I don't even tell people about it. Like, I make fully functioning products that are literally ready to go to market, and then I just don't take them to market. Like,
it's that last 10%.
Totally, it's like
the 10% we were talking about.
Like, I need help. Somebody come fucking help me. Be my operator, please.
Well, not only do you not take them to market, like I don't even know about this many projects that you have just waiting there.
I'm stupid. It's pretty much what I
And the ones that I do and think I know about, I'm like, dude, let's launch that shit. And you're like, oh yeah, I launched that with some random dudes like 2 years ago. Let me see if it's still up. I'm like, oh okay, never mind.
No, and the other thing I don't do.
Your mobile apps.
No, the other thing I don't do is I don't like ever post anything to Dribbble or Behance or anything, and I don't have a portfolio.
Yeah.
No, but the reason I'm bringing that up is because I forget the things that I made. At least then I would have got something out of it because it's like up there and it's like part of my portfolio. True. Like, dude, you should. I'm just gonna one day you just go through my Dropbox folder and look at all the shit that I have in there.
Yeah.
Like it's.
No, there's definitely, I know what you mean when it's like forgetting about stuff that you've worked on. You're like, man, what have I done? You're like, yeah, I guess that's it. And then somebody reminds you of some shit, or you just remember at some point, you're like, oh wait, I did this massive project that took me 6 months that I just forgot about that I liked and I still can't remember.
I think it's, I don't know, something's wrong. I feel like mine are like these little mini obsessions. Right? So it's never sometimes it's like a 6-month thing, but like other times it's just like, I'm obsessed with this thing right now. I'm going to build a whole product on it. And then I'm so in it. I'm doing research on it. I'm reading every book. If I read a book, that means I'm fucking in it. Right? Cause I don't know how to read. So I literally downloaded an audio book to learn about this thing. And so, if I get in it and then I'll make a thing and then I'm a goldfish. And the next fucking shiny object shows up and I become a mini obsessed with that one, So.
Dude, but that's what's fun though, man. That's just tinkering and figuring stuff out.
If I could just make a living off of that, it'd be great.
I mean, yeah, we just, a friend of mine was telling me how he found this guy that repairs lawnmowers and he takes it over and the guy's like, I just want you to know I'm not a professional lawnmower guy. I just like doing this and I've done it since I was a kid. Just want you to know who I am. And he was like, oh, you've done it since you were a kid. Like, okay. And he said and the guy was just like, I just like doing it or whatever. I don't know why he gave him so much information. If you've been doing it since you're a kid, you're probably a freaking pro. But anyway, the guy also happened to be like the sheriff of some country town. But what it made me think, I'm getting way off there. But anyway, what it made me think is just like this guy. Yeah. He just is like, yeah, it's just it's fun to fiddle with some mechanical shit and figure it out. And, I'll let people give me some money to do it.
No, I run into
not like you could really make
cars.
A just
cars is a perfect example because I meet people like that all the time. Like there's a guy down the road, that he literally works on engines and puts new modern engines into old cars, but he just does it in his shop in the backyard, and he just does it for fun. Yeah, I think he has an electrician's company. He's not a mechanic at all. He just likes it. And then he gets to meet other people because other people bring him people that are working on cool projects and he wants to be a part of it. And but he tells them, he's just I'll let you know when I have some time because there's no, I'm not a business. There's no, here's the schedule. It'll be done by this time. I'll let you know when the bay in my shop is empty.
I bet.
And I'll let you know when I'm done. and that's it.
Yeah. Which sounds, if that's by the way you're saying that, it sounds like he has figured out how to manage his clients too, because that would require some major client management where it's like, hey man, I just got to let you know, ran into some shit. You're still going to have to take this to an expert.
So what he does,
making sure that person really knows that you are not like,
so what he does is he hooks them with a cheap price. Because a buddy of mine's taking his Firebird over there, and he's like the price is so good and like so much less than like any other shop on the planet. I don't care how long it takes, He's like, it's not like this is a rush project.
Yeah,
for me.
As long as it's like
Right. But no, but the guy's like done other work. You know what I mean? And he only does one thing, one type of. It's not like he works on like everything. He knows how to take this LS1 engine, which is a modern one, and put it into another vehicle. So he's only working on that one type of engine every single time, right?
Oh,
so it's like he knows it. It's not like he's like, ran into some issues. Right. I have no fucking clue why this isn't working.
Super
That's
niche.
Your problem now.
I love it.
You know? So anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to be a tinkerer. Lead tinkerer on my business card, I think would be like the dream. I like that a lot.
Let's get that.
Inventor was always the dream
tinker.
as a kid. Like was always like with Data from Goonies or like the dad from like fucking Gremlins.
See, we were the same nerds as kids.
No, like I was like, that's a thing. You can just invent things and people will buy them. And then infomercials came out. And I was just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to make magic potions in the fucking bathroom. Like, I'm going to invent things. Like, but, now I just make shit look pretty.
I love it. I was waiting for you to, like, shit on yourself. But, yeah. Now I just make shit pretty. Well, so to your point of, like, a services business, one of the things that we had to talk about was the service, design service as a subscription. Like you showed me one, and my initial thought was, that's not going to work at all. Like there's too many, because it was like, basically it said, invite as many people as you want to a project, unlimited revisions, all this. And I didn't actually see how much it was until you told me that the guy's charging like $5,000 a month.
So backing up, there's basically been a trend in the last probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 years of like unlimited, like design as a service. Basically, you pay a subscription fee, you get a designer assigned to whatever project that you're working on. They claim there's like this whole thing.
Well, design service as a subscription.
Yeah,
right.
But the other one, so not the one that you're bringing up. That one is like a sole person who's like a designer. And he charges a shit ton, right? But the other ones that are out there is like almost like more of a design farming system.
Oh, gotcha.
And like, so it's a lot of offshore designers in the Philippines and in the Ukraine and like different places, right?
Which means it can't cost nearly.
It doesn't cost them as much. No, it's like $500 a month or something like that is what they charge. But here's the trick, because I've tried a bunch of these. Is a designer that is less experienced, not necessarily less good, takes longer to do something, right? So you could say unlimited projects, do 1 million fucking things all month, but they're gonna get like one thing done because you're gonna like, I didn't really like that first one. Don't really like this one. Can you do something more like this? Okay, now let's change that. We're getting closer. And now it's been a whole month, so you basically paid $500 for that one project. Still a good, like you didn't do it, or like might still be very valuable for somebody who's not in the design industry making like top of the line type products. But this one that I sent you that day, that Design Joy one, that guy makes professional products. And so he's basically taking that same model. And actually, the article that I found on it was talking about how he made $1 million last year with this, which at $5,000 a month, I can't. What is that? 200 customers. I can't do math. Something like that.
Well,
2,000. I don't know. How many zeros?
I'll do it real quick. You just keep.
How many
talking
zeros?
Buddy.
But anyway, the same thing applies to him, right? So what I'm picturing happening is you sign up for the service, and he's already got. Basically, there's just a backlog queue of client work, And if it's only him doing the work, he can just take the one off the top. Like, who's at the top of the queue, right? And
Yeah.
so that's a thing. It's kind of cool. What I would do if I was him, though, is I'd add a little, like, want to be on the top of the list? It's $6,000. You know what I mean? Like, I'll start on it next. Right
Yeah.
now, you're number 221.
That could get really interesting. But yeah, that is. I mean, your quick math was right. $200.
200 clients.
Sorry, 200 customers. Yeah, one person having 200 clients over the course of a year. It's
But
a decent
the whole
amount.
idea, though, I think that I would use a service like that. That is, like, if I got to pick the designers. So that's what's really interesting about that Design Joy one. Typically what happens is they say they're like all like AI and machine learning this, and you wanted branding? Well, we have these designers that are great at branding. Here we assign the perfect one for you. When really they were like, did they check that box? And they're like, here, they're available. Stick them on that.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh,
the
right.
quality
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
I've gotten
100%.
from, and I've tried 3 different ones. I won't name them here because I don't have a good review for them, but they were all less than $700 a month, and all pretty bad. Like, I don't think I used anything.
They're all pretty. bad.
I don't think I used any of the work. So,
Really. That sucks.
speaking of one of the works that I had somebody do, and was a product that I made for Hawk. Hawk started having me draw. I used to have a Tesla, and so he started having me draw my Tesla for him so that he could color it, so he could like design what his Tesla would look like when he gets one, right?
Uh-huh.
And like it was happening
Yeah.
so often. I was like, dude, we just need to make a coloring book so I can just print these like over and over again. So I had somebody make illustrations for all of the different models and put them into like a color book setting, where there's like a park over here and there's some shit in the background. And
Yeah.
like, literally I have it sitting there, and I was just going to launch it on Product Hunt just for fun. Never did. It's just sitting there.
Oh.
Just sitting in Dropbox. But anyway, that one project going through one of those services seems pretty basic. Take a photo, trace it, make it black outline, done. It was a month for 5 cars.
Really?
Like, because I had to keep going back and forth. Like, at first
So
it was like the
was it
tiniest.
$500?
Yeah, I mean, I had to pay a month's worth of service for the one project. And it was just like dumb things. Like, you can tell this person was not extremely experienced, where it'd be like a 1 pixel line, like outline of the car. And I'm like, it's a coloring book. It's always like thick, fat line, black line,
Right.
like, and then like make the car like this, and then put a background that was like a totally different like perspective.
Oh, perspective.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
yeah.
Are you joking? Like, it was just weird. But anyway, I wouldn't start that service. Back
like
to the
that.
whole design services thing. Design service as a subscription, I feel like what I was doing. Because a lot of the clients that I had growing up with my agency, I was on retainer. So I had a retainer every month,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I just
then that
did
is what you're
exactly what this person is claiming to do. I was the sole designer. I have fucking gone through this route, but I didn't fucking make $1 million in a year, so I fucking did it wrong. So,
Yeah. What the?
because I had one client instead of like 200 like he has.
200.
But I don't see how that's
Well,
I
there's
don't
where
see
you
how that's
fucked up.
physically possible to take
Yeah,
care of
I
200
know,
clients
I know,
as
I
one
agree.
person.
Yeah. Yeah.
This episode brought to
Wow.
you by Dr. Pepper cream soda.
Why would you do that? No, it's
No,
not.
it's not. I'm just kidding. But it's delicious.
Yeah. That's good to know. All right. So let's move on.
Man, you got all mad at me.
Anything jumping out at you here?
Give my sponsor. I'm trying to get them sponsors.
No, you're giving free sponsorships. That's not. Well, yeah.
You wrote on here.
Retroactively.
We were
hook us
talking
up.
about movies earlier, about how fucking dark they are and how your shitty eyes can't see them. But you wrote in here movie theater. And so I thought that one was interesting.
delete
I know you deleted it because now you're all mad. But no, I thought that was interesting.
So what's interesting about that? Yeah.
Because I love going to the movie theater. Like, I fucking love it, but not for the reason that you would probably think that I love going to the movie theater.
Yeah.
That was like a good cliffhanger for
Let's
you,
hear
right?
it.
I told you last episode, like, I can't physically take naps, right? Like if I'm awake, the sun's out, I'm here, I gotta be like doing something. But all fucking, like, what is it, like? It does. None of the rules matter if I'm in a fucking movie theater. Like, everything is perfect. It's extremely dark. It's cold. If it's got the reclining seats, like, I'm fucking extremely comfortable. I fucking pay $20 to fucking take a nap at a movie theater every time we go. So I see the beginning of the movie. I see the end of the movie. I don't have a fucking clue what happens in the middle of every fucking movie that we go
that's
to.
awful.
No, it's fucking fantastic. The best fucking naps ever. Like, I leave there going, man, what are we going to do now?
I mean, honestly, yeah. I mean, honestly, like, you know, $20 isn't really bad to get a good nap in.
I mean, we pay.
I doubt it's $20, though. It's probably more than that.
I mean,
except you're having to pay for the whole family. I guess they're all getting to enjoy their money's worth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for me.
And then,
well, I say that.
yeah, you're like 20 or 30
So
bucks.
my daughter can fuck. She sleeps everywhere. So she probably didn't watch the movie. She passes out anywhere, anytime. It doesn't matter. So she probably didn't watch it. But my son and my wife probably enjoyed the movie. But this has been a thing forever. Like, that's good. I remember being in high school. Like, and maybe this is why I watch movies so many times, because I know I'm not going to see it the first time. So I have to watch it again to see actually what happened. Like, even when we watch stuff at home now, it's starting to be that way, where I'm just like, if I get into a comfortable spot on the couch or whatever, I'm done. Like, that's when my brain knows, you know? So, like, I still haven't, that new Spider-Man, like Hawk was just waiting for it to come out. I've tried to watch it like 5 times. I fucking fall asleep like every time when I try to watch it at night. So it's a good movie. I just haven't seen it all the way through.
I mean, you still have to buy that.
I bought
one,
it.
Right? That's not on
no,
anything.
you can stream it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
For $20, right? Yeah.
Nothing's free, bruh.
Okay. I liked there for a while when all the movies were coming out. All the brand new movies were coming out straight to streaming.
So back on the movie theater thing, did I ever tell you, like, I kind of wish that they would all fucking crash and burn? And why?
They all what?
The movie theaters.
What are we talking about?
I thought, like, with COVID and everything, I was like, there's no way that movie theaters survive. They're all gonna.
I remember you wanted it. You were like, you wanted to buy one and make it your like gaming.
And I still
super
think
arena.
that like movie theaters haven't recovered. Like, there's people going to them now, but they haven't recovered from like the fucking loss that they took. I totally feel like you could make. Whoa! Did you turn off my camera?
No, sir.
What the fuck?
Man. This sucks.
What the hell?
Ray's camera dies again.
Dude. Why is it we have the same fucking camera? The same shit, and mine's freaking out and yours ain't? And you're...
Because I have a dummy battery.
Yeah, it won't turn back on.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's the show. All right. Please like and subscribe to this amazing show that we're producing for you. And until next time, I'm Stephen Ray.
I'm Ray Hernandez without a fucking camera.